Evening peeps, good evening everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. Look at that, people. Look at what are they? Look at that. Dmitry Bivol's jacket. Not just any Dmitry Bivol jacket, right? Not just a team member jacket or a jacket that you can probably buy on Dmitry Bivol's website. If he has a website, I don't know. This is the jacket off his own back after the biggest victory of his career. Immediately after the press conference, that's the jacket. Now, it actually wasn't a frame, but I smashed the frame, unfortunately, during this move. But I might just leave it like that. It's probably my proudest possession. I swear. And you know what? It's funny. I was thinking about this. I am obviously lucky that I go to all these boxing events, and I never ever think to get anything from anyone, like a signed glove from Canelo or GGG or AJ or even Fury, whatever. Nothing. But something about that day made me want that jacket. And thank God he gave it to me, because it would have been very, very embarrassing. All right, what is there to talk about from the world of boxing? I go up to Nottingham on Thursday. Looking forward to it. Press conference for Lee Wood versus Mauricio Lara. Can't wait for this fight. I mean, the atmosphere in that building is going to be incredible. Trust me, it's going to be incredible. I don't know if it's a sellout, but I'm guessing it's very, very close to being. It's been a good start for British boxing. When you think of what we've had, Liam Smith versus Eubank, we've had Beterbiev versus Yard. So that's Boxer and Queensbury. And now it's time for Matchroom and DAZN to show what they've got as well. Can't wait for it. Can't wait to speak to Lee Wood. Can't wait to speak to Ben Davison. I mean, this is a risky one. There is a part of me, though, that feels that this could be a bit like Kevin Mitchell, Bradis Prescott. I don't know if you guys remember that fight, but obviously before that, Bradis Prescott destroyed Amir Khan. Like, it was incredible. I remember where I was. I was in a nightclub called Faces. It's in Ilford or Gants Hill, Ilford. And I remember it reverberating around the room that Amir Khan's been knocked out. So I would never, ever forget that. And I remember Kevin Mitchell fought him a couple of years later. And everyone was a bit like, what's Kevin Mitchell doing? He's crazy. And Kevin Mitchell just outboxed him. And I have a feeling that this one could play out a bit like that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Mauricio Lara is one scary individual. And, you know, I've watched a couple of his fights since the Josh Warrington win. And he's doing that to everyone. So everyone's getting bust up. But I've got a feeling that Lee Wood just plays this one smart. It isn't the carnage we're expecting, and just outpoints him. But in saying that, Lee Wood does like to get stuck in. So someone's probably going to sleep. Berlanga has just signed. Edgar Berlanga has just signed a deal with Matchroom. It seemed to be whether at Golden Boy or Matchroom. He's decided to go with Matchroom. I do wonder if it's because they have Canelo and that's what he wants. He wants the Canelo fight. He's been speaking about it for a while now. I'm not sure about Berlanga. I'm not sure about him. Obviously, he started crazy, didn't he? I think it was, what was it, like 15 or 16 fights, all ending in the first round or something crazy like that. Since then, I think he's had a couple of fights and he's just looked very, very suspect to me. But if you're Eddie, he's, I guess, somewhat of a needle mover in the New York area. He's got a big Puerto Rican following, so there's something to work with. But I'm not quite sure if he's going to be that guy to go on and win world titles. But look, you don't always have to be that guy. Not everyone's going to win a world title. Eddie will look at him and think maybe, you know, he can be a big ticket seller. He can headline events for them. Maybe not at big Garden MSG, but maybe the smaller one, the Hulu Theatre. So I can understand why Eddie signed him. I'm not quite sure about him, though, as a top-level, top-tier boxer. But who knows? Anything can happen in the next sort of 12 to 18 months. Chris Eubank Jr. has exercised the rematch clause. Him versus Liam Smith, then I'm guessing will happen in the summer. And it probably will be at 160. Look, if Chris wants to continue boxing, and obviously he does, then I guess you've got to do this. You've got to go this way. There was talk, or maybe it was just from me, of the Billy Joe Saunders fight at 168. And there might have been conversations behind the scenes, you know, money figures would have been put on the table. But ultimately, this is a big fight. This is a very, very big fight. It won't happen at Anfield. I was at Anfield yesterday. Obviously, they've got the Anfield Road development So Anfield will be shut down for the summer once they get that new stand in. So it won't happen there. So it probably will go back to the AO Arena in Manchester, maybe the O2 Arena, but more like the AO Arena. Obviously, look, not too far from Liverpool, so you would expect them to go that way. For Chris, it can't get any worse than the first fight. I mean, it can't. Well, I guess it can, but I don't expect it to. Will he still use Roy Jones Jr.? Will he switch up and get another trainer? I mean, a lot of people were talking about the weight cut being a problem, me included. I'm not quite sure how this is going to play out, but look, one thing we do know is that it will be a big fight. It will be. They are going to bring up the elbow. You know, I spoke to someone that's very, very close to Chris Eubank, and Chris Eubank Jr. wasn't talking about the elbow issue. That wasn't Chris. This is what that person told me, because I put a video up and the person immediately messaged me and said, Ade, Chris isn't using the elbow thing as an excuse. His team might be, in terms of Cali Sauland and the rest, but Chris isn't. Chris isn't. So I do wonder if Chris will mention it. He probably will, because he did get hit with an elbow. I mean, it did happen. But look, I'm I'm somewhat excited for it. I mean, for now, my excitement level is quite low just because it's so far away. I mean, you're probably talking about a fight that won't happen for another 5 or 6 months. But yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And look, if you're Liam Smith, I mean, you're going to get paid well. You're going to get paid very, very well. And what were the realistic options for Liam Smith? It wasn't going to be Janibek. And even if it was, like, okay, say they laid it out on the table for Liam Smith. So Janibek's there, Munguia Rematch is there, Charlo's there, Golovkin's there, Eubank's there. Eubank would probably be the same amount of money as all of those, if not more. In fact, it will 100% be more than Janibek, 100% be more than Munguia, and maybe, in fact, it will be more than fighting Charlo, and it will be more than fighting Golovkin, because let's not forget, if you're going for those world champions, I mean, you're going to get the small side of that money. Where you're going for Chris, I mean, it probably isn't even a 50-50 split now. Liam might be the A side in this one. It will be on pay-per-view. We're hearing, I think Ben Shalom said the pay-per-view done around 250,000 buys, which isn't shabby. It's not too bad. It will do more this time round. So if you're Liam, when you look at all those options, you're probably thinking, give me the guy I just knocked out in 4 rounds. Give me that guy. I said that Liam should have gone the Golovkin route just because it's a world title, and why would you not want to fight Golovkin? Like, why wouldn't you? But Liam will probably think, I've still got an opportunity to fight Chris, beat him, and maybe fight Golovkin before the year end. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, that's going to happen. Canelo on possible Bivol sequel. I know I'm going to beat him in the rematch. I don't know how you know that, Canelo. I'm not quite sure. Like, what have you seen with Bivol to make you? Have you seen him slack a little bit? Have you seen him maybe take his foot off the pedal? I'm not convinced. I understand why Canelo would say that, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I just watching that fight back, watching Bivol up close against Ramirez. There's a lot there. Talking of Bivol, we are, I think, close to getting a Bivol Boatsi announcement. When I did sit with Eddie at the AJ Franklin press conference, I asked him about Bivol, and he said likely June for his opponent. I can't see who else it can be apart from Boatsi. Honestly, I can't. Nothing about Boatsi. Like, it just can't be a coincidence that we've heard nothing about Boatsi in terms of an opponent. We've heard nothing about Bivol. Boatsi was ringside for Bivol Ramirez. He's out of contract. I mean, surely Eddie's like, I've got one thing for you, Dmitry Bivol, sign a 5-fight deal. That's what I do if I'm Eddie. So I'm sure something's going on there. Usyk promoter, really optimistic Fury fight gets made, adamant on a 50-50 split. It might just be a case of if they insist on a 50-50 split, then it might just be a case of Tyson Fury has to bite the bullet on this one. I can understand why Fury would say, no, you're in my hometown. I want the majority. But unless Fury's fighting AJ next, which obviously isn't going to happen, no other fight. Like, do you take a 50-50 split against Usyk in a fight that could do 500,000 pay-per-view buys? Or do you take 80-20 split against, I don't know, let's just chuck a name out there, Hrgovic, that does 100,000 buys and it's not undisputed? Surely you take the 50-50 split against Usyk, undisputed, you go down in the history of the sport and it does 500,000. You want to be in that fight. So I do think that they're smart, Team Usyk, to say, okay, no, we're going to just wait this one out because we know you want this. We want it, you want it, let's get it done. Hrgovic, Ruiz, purse bid ordered. Let's see. This is, by the way, an interim. This will be an interim IBF heavyweight title fight, which is weird. Doesn't make any sense. Like, so the winner of this will be in line to, I guess, face Usyk. This is interesting, this Hrgovic Ruiz, because this almost comes off the back of we're hearing problems with Wilder and PBC. Because look, we heard Wilder Ruiz. We've been hearing it for the last 4 or 5 months. All of a sudden, that stalls, and now the IBF have ordered Hrgovic Ruiz. Look, I like the fight. I like Wilder Ruiz more, but I'm not complaining about Hrgovic Ruiz. Can we just get these fights on, please? Like, what's going on? It's like, there's some fights being made in the heavyweight division, but then your Hrgovic, Ruiz, your Wilder, it's almost like announce something. Canelo to take a pay cut by facing Ryder in Mexico, says Eddie Hearn. Yeah, I guess that's now done, right? Again, I speak to Eddie on Thursday. So tomorrow, by the time this video comes out, and I'll probably just ask the question, what's going on with it? I expect it to be done. I really, really hope that I go. They asked me to go to Mexico. I'm pretty sure they should, right? I mean, why would you not want Addy there? But I hope I go. Good luck to John Ryder in beating Canelo in Mexico. I mean, it's tough enough to beat Canelo in Vegas. To beat him in Mexico, I think the last time he fought in Mexico, am I right in thinking, let's have a look. I can't remember. Who was it? Who did he fight in Mexico last? It wasn't Matthew Hatton, was it? No, I don't think it was. Let's have a look, quick look. Let's hope that box rec is working as we do this. I'm trying to think. It's loading up. I can't remember the last time he fought in Mexico. Okay, here we go. I think it would have been Ryan Rhodes. Am I? Oh, no. Kermit Cintron. Okay, wow, that's a long time ago. If that's correct, the last time he fought in Mexico was 2011. Is that correct? It might just be, Wow, that's a long, long time ago. And Kermit Cintron got knocked out in I think the 4th round or 5th round. Good luck to John Ryder. Stanionis. How do I pronounce this guy's name? Stanionis. Okay. Virgil Ortiz finalized for April 29th. Good fight. Very, very good fight. What else have we got here? Bit from Eddie on AJ saying Joshua could be done at world level if he loses to Franklin. Could be, will be. Let's be brutally honest about it. Will be. It's going to be very, very difficult. It is what it is. We'll see, man. He has to get the job done. He will get the job done. He will. I'm so confident that he's going to knock Franklin out. He might have to come through something, but in the end, he will knock him out. All right, is that it? Are we done? Let's not say we're done yet. Let's go into Michael Benson's Twitter. He's always got some stuff for us to talk about, hasn't he? Michael Benson. Let's have a look and see what he's got to say for himself. There's a lot here on Eddie Hearn saying that if Fury Usyk don't get done, then AJ will fight Fury in the summer. Nowadays, I just look at all this stuff as just talk. I don't like even entertain it. There was an image. Did you see that image of Gervonta Davis being in a wheelchair after the NFL, after the Super Bowl? But then he done a video that I retweeted on my Twitter page saying that his ankles are fine because there was some talk about maybe his ankles. Why was he in a wheelchair then? Like, what's going on? I don't know. Nothing really. Nothing at all. All right, we are done. Hello. Let's before we go, Joseph Parker versus Michael Hunter is in talks. 1 second. Joseph Parker versus Michael Hunter is in talks to happen next in the UK and getting close to a done deal. Hunter has revealed. He's done an interview with Behind the Gloves. I know Hunter's manager, who's actually just reached out to me and asked if I can do an interview with Michael Hunter. So we might do an interview with Michael Hunter and actually hear from him ourselves. But all right, anyway, we are done. Peace and love, people.